Welcome to Spotlight. I'm your host, Amitha. Join us weekly to get inspired by guests, events, and much more. Our guest today is a Toronto-based literary consultant who specializes in the South Asian segment of literature and authors. She has been a curator for the South Asian segment of the Toronto International Festival of Authors and the Tartan Turban Secret Summer Readings. She works with Canadian publishers and has worked with many authors, including Anar Ali, Lisa Ray, and Ruby Lal, to name just a few. She's part of Dlf Toronto, and today we'll be finding out about the upcoming Dlf Toronto on October 2nd and October 3rd. Let's welcome to our show, Miss Meenakshi Alimchandani. Welcome, Meenakshi.
Thank you, Amitha, for inviting me, and thank you, Khalid.
Thank you. We are so glad to have you here with such an expertise on the topic of literature, especially focusing on the South Asian segment. But first of all, let's find out a little bit about your career path as a literary consultant, right from where you started and where you're here now.
Okay. I have always been a very passionate reader. I was also working in marketing, and I realized that there was no representation about South Asian writers when they were published here or back in India. People really didn't know. So I said, why don't I become the bridge? So I just picked up the phone and called some Penguin Books Canada, and I said, this is what I would like to do. Can you tell me where I can start? And they said, okay, we'll give you an author. If you do one, we'll give you more. So they gave me a very prominent Indian gentleman who's from the IT industry, Nandan Nelekeni, who's one of the founders of Infosys, promote his book, Imagining India, and it took off from there. And
Amazing.
Then I was invited by other publishers, other authors to represent them. And because Canada is so diverse and multicultural, I was asked to come in and speak at various festivals about our diversity.
Amazing. Now, did you already know from, when you were younger that this is the path you wanted to take?
No, this is something that came about in my 40s.
Okay, great. That's quite an inspiration. Like you said, you have been in the marketing field up until then, and then you decided to make a change. And that takes a lot of courage, and a lot of us kind of shy away from, following what we are really passionate about. So we are so inspired by you, Meenakshi. And you're here today, working with the best known publishers, and the initiative you took on your own to get this going, that's also commendable. Now, I understand, like you already mentioned, you have worked with well-known authors, but beyond working with them, you have been part of festivals, and you have also been a speaker at some of them. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I realized that whenever there were literature festivals being held in Canada, there was no South Asian representation. So I went across to the people at the Toronto International Festival of Authors at the Harbourfront, and I said, hey, this is not on. We are so diverse and multicultural, and you have nothing. So this is, will you be able to do something? So for 2 years, till COVID hit, I was programming for them. I also did some work with the Tartan Turban, as I said, but that was more of curating South Asian authors who read works in translation. And from there, I was invited to festivals in India to talk about the Canadian South Asian landscape and literature.
That's amazing. So from Canada to India, so have you found a difference in the kind of works between the two lands, or is there some kind of common thread in terms of the kind of writings?
Well, South Asian writing is so diverse, right? It's a very, very broad spectrum of authors from many genres. And you'll be surprised to know that India today is a hub for publishing and has print runs are very high for books in India. There's this intense need to read, and not just in English, but in regional languages as well. And the difference I found here is more of introducing people to literature, even to second generation Canadians who want to know about their roots and their culture. And yes, and in India, they want to know about what the Canadian scenario is.
Amazing. So there's, each person helping the other, or each land helping the other. And it's exploring through the world of books, even though maybe you cannot be there, especially in a time like the pandemic where, yes, we are going back to travels shortly, but it's easier probably through the book. So one question to you: why is reading still important in this digital age, in this age of, Insta? Why is reading still important?
Because those are momentary thoughts and they disappear, whereas reading stays with you. It's imprinted in your mind. As simple as that. And reading opens the world to you. I mean, you don't, okay, Wikipedia is great, but does it have in-depth research? No, it's the book that does it. It's the quality of writing, it's the language, the ideas that it gives you in your mind to make you think. So reading, yes, any day is important for me or for the world.
Very well said. And I for myself, I find that too, a book read by every person can be taken in a different way. Exactly. And yes, and then if you come together, which is great in in cases like festivals or book clubs, when you share ideas about how you interpret the book, it opens your mind to a whole world of possibilities and makes it a much richer experience, I feel. So.
Yeah. So talking of book clubs, we are running a book club for the past 3 years here called Books That Bind with Aditi Syed and I, who's my co-coordinator. And we are focusing on literature from different genres, right? There are South Asians here who don't know anything about indigenous literature or indigenous life. So we're kind of bridging that, or people from the Caribbean that we read about, and it kind of opens up everyone's minds there.
Amazing. So in short, like we have talked about, reading is so important for us to grow as a person for the better. So encouraging all the viewers to just take up a book and read and, enrich your life. And so, Meenakshi, so great again to be talking to you today. And as we mentioned, today we will be talking about the upcoming Dlf Toronto that's happening in 2021. But let's go back to the mother of this particular festival, Jaipur Literature Festival. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Jaipur Literature Festival was started more than 10 or 12 years ago. I'm not too sure of the date, but yes, it started off small and it's grown huge. And it is the largest free literature festival in the world today. And authors, international and Indian and South Asian, everyone wants to come there.
Amazing. And we are so grateful. In 2019, Dlf Toronto debuted, and you have been a moderator of that, and you have been part of it through the years. So we want to find out more. But before that, it's time for a short break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to Ms. Meenakshi Alimchandani, a Toronto-based literary consultant, and today our focus is on Dlf Toronto. So Meenakshi, as we were just talking about the Jaipur Literature Festival, which has been the mother of Dlf Toronto. So let's find out more about that. It debuted here in 2019 and you have been part of it. So tell us a little bit more about that.
It was JLF's first foray into Canada, and we were very fortunate that it came to Toronto versus any other city. It was the distillery district, and we had such a great lineup and huge audiences. Sessions were sold out, though it was a paid festival. People standing outside, and it was amazing. It brought the world to Canada.
Yes, it's such an honor that Toronto got to see the coming together of many great speakers, authors. So give us a glimpse of it, so as if you're reading it to us, like what was the visual like, and what was taking place there? Were there like meetings,
There were
speeches? Yeah.
speakers, multiple sessions. People had the opportunity to meet authors. They had an opportunity to see the rich culture of India with the folk dancers. So yes, there was a lot of things. We had prominent Canadian authors like M.G. Vasanji Gill, two-time Giller Prize winner, participating. Shashi Tharoor was there for the opening night. It was very, very good.
Very big names. So it sounds like it was a great networking for everybody. What did JLF Toronto hope to achieve with it?
They wanted to establish themselves here as the world's largest literary festival, which they did. Internationally, they have JLF in Boulder, in London, in New York. So Canada is one of them. They also have JLF Houston. They wanted to showcase the best of literature to Canada, whether it was South Asian or whether it was diverse voices from around the world, and vice versa.
Great. So were there also people there in the audience who were not really authors, who are just, passionate readers?
The audience was general public, people who were passionate about literature, people who wanted to listen to new ideas. So yes, the audience, a lot of students, a lot of second generation people who of Canadian, South Asian descent. There was a lot of mainstream communities that came out to support us. Yeah.
Oh, great. So yeah, then you did achieve the purpose of bringing everybody together through the medium of, reading and through the medium of the JLF Toronto. Now, it has continued since then. So it's obviously been a great, successful debut. So what has happened to it over the years, especially because the pandemic came in between?
Last year, we went, as JLF all over the world has gone, it went virtual. They had all their sessions on Zoom and other things. So digital. So we did the whole festival digitally last year in Canada as well.
Oh, great. And the authors who were part of the festivals over the years, I'm sure you have gotten to speak with them because you are associated with the well-known authors. What kind of feedback did you get from the authors?
They all thought it went brilliantly.
That's great.
We had authors like Chitra Banerjee, Devakaruni as well, and a whole lot of others, William Dalrymple, and everybody went back rather pleased with what's happened here.
Amazing. And that's why we are so excited. It's back. So tell us a bit more about this year's JLF Toronto.
And it's a free festival. It's virtual. It's open to everybody. It's inclusive. So please, go ahead and register on the website, dlflitfest.org, and you'll be able to access all the sessions. This year, we have a great lineup. We have 8 very interesting conversations. The schedules are up on jlflitfest.org. They've also partnered with the Canadian Litscape, and with 7 poetry sessions. We have authors coming in like Zoe Vittal. We have international authors like Shekhar Kapoor as Vikas Khanna. I am interviewing on the 3rd 2 authors, Canadian authors, Gail Anderson Dargast and Lisa Bird Wilson. There's a lot of Madhur Anand, as I mentioned, is a big name.
Exciting audience for the audience. And that's why I encourage all the viewers to go ahead to the website and register. So it would be similar to the previous years where there would be some, the speakers with all these well-known authors, and it sounds like a panel discussion where you're
Lots of
providing
panel
interviews.
discussions, yes. Lots of poets reading from their thing. There will be interaction because audiences will be able to send their there will be live Q&As as well.
Great. And then are there going to be certain workshops? Because I heard like there were students in the previous, festivals, workshops where maybe there are some aspiring writers in there.
This time, I don't think there are workshops because the time is so limited. It's just this coming weekend. But maybe next year we can program that in.
Regardless, it's going to be full of a wealth of knowledge in those 2 days. And that too coming from yourself, who has been part of many festivals, who has been working with many authors, as well as well-known authors who are making a mark in this field. So once again, Meenakshi, for the benefit of our viewers, tell us where they can register.
You can please go ahead and register at jlflitfest.org and access all the sessions, register, attend, ask your questions, send in suggestions, and we'd be delighted to listen to them.
Amazing, Meenakshi. So viewers, you have it. Register. I'll be registering, and let's delve right into the world of reading. Meenakshi, there's more to talk about, but before that, it's time for a short break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to Miss Meenakshi Alimchandani, a Toronto-based literary consultant who is giving us information about Dlf Toronto. So this is very exciting, Meenakshi. All of us can be part of this festival, so we should be registering for it and gain the wealth of knowledge as we have been just talking about. I'm going to digress for a bit and come back to you with your expertise. We heard about how you are coordinating a book club with Miss Aditi Syed. I believe it's called Books That Bind. You told us a little bit about that. Now, how can our viewers be part of that? And you give us a summary of what it's about, but if you can give us a little bit more.
So we have been running the book club for 3 years. Our focus has been, Aditi and mine, has to be encourage our readers to read books that they're not out of their comfort zones, right? So a lot of Indigenous writers, a lot of Black writers, lots of women, lots of South Asian writers. It's something that, and not to forget the Palestinian authors. So it's world literature, basically. But our idea is to expose authors and books that are not mainstream, that don't get the media. A lot of them are hidden gems. So that's what we are doing. Along with the book club, under the banner of the book club, we've also had a number of coffee chats with authors such as Lisa Ray, Samir Pandya. We have an author we are doing next on the 16th, Sujata Massey, who's very well known and it's called The Prince of Bombay. We've also interviewed local authors who've been published here, like Shaukat Ajmeri about his book, Anar Ali. So yes, so this has been going on with our, coffee chats.
This is such a great initiative by, both of you, because these days, as we were talking about earlier, people are looking, for Insta gratification and looking for simpler ways, simplify everything. And we said how reading can open up your mind to a whole new world of possibilities. So do you have any kind of advice for our young viewers today? Again, they're more into, I'm not saying all the young viewers, but a lot of them are more into watching TV, watching movies, going after games, and reading sometimes takes, backseat. Do you have any advice for them?
Read. Pick up a book. If you can pick up a book, read it on your device. I mean, I read on my Kindle and my iPad all the time too. So you're bridging both, you're mixing, but read. You will be amazed to find how your thoughts change, how your language changes, the insights you gain. So, yes, and I encourage parents, take your children to the libraries when they open up, order books for them. I mean, I grew up with a home where my mother said every month you're allowed 2 books, and it took me hours to decide what to buy. I say that to parents, don't have to do 2 books, but buy your kids books.
Amazing. So it starts from home, and of course, in the schools, the teachers are promoting it, but parents do, push for it. So they do pick up a book. The earlier they pick up, it continues. That kind of habit continues. I have another question for you. Being part of the book club, there are some books that have been made into movies, and then you hear from people. Some people say that the movie version is better, and some people say the book version is better. What is your take on it?
My take on it is it's the perception. It's the viewer's perception. It's the reader's perception. So, I can't make a judgment about somebody's personal views. But yes, for me, a book is always better than a movie.
And I agree the same too. I thought I would just put that out to you because, especially being part of a book club, I've heard there are many viewers who, compare a book to the movie that, the book has been made into. So it was just interesting to get your perspective on it too. And it's been great talking to you today, Meenakshi. I feel like now I need to just, once we're done here, go pick up a book and read. And that's what our viewers should do too. And it's been great to find out more about the Dlf Toronto. And where can viewers find more information about Books That Bind if they want to be part of it?
You can reach out to Aditi or to me, and, we can give you more information.
Thank you. Meenakshi, do you have any final words for our viewers, whether it be about books or just about you being such an inspiration where, you decided to go after your passion after years of being in a field that you probably were educated in? Any final words for our viewers?
All I can say is the winter is coming. Get yourself a lot of books, sit and read, and that's it. But enjoy reading. Don't think of reading as a chore. Think of it as a joy. And that's my final words.
Thank you very much, Meenakshi. It's been a pleasure talking to you. After we are done, I'm picking up a book and also registering for Dlf Toronto on October 2nd and October 3rd.
Thank you for inviting me, Khalid and Amitha, for this wonderful session. Much appreciated.
Thank you. So that was Miss Meenakshi Alimchandani, who has inspired us today to take up reading and also to register for Dlf Toronto, happening on October 2nd and October 3rd, 2021. Well, that's a wrap for this week's show. Thank you for watching us. Continue to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and write to us at spotlight@ethnicchannels.com. Until next week, this is Amitha signing off, encouraging you to pick up a book and enter into your own world of imagination.